Hey friends, I'm Amy, a health coach here at Flip Your Leaf, and today we're going to talk about product scanners. Now, these are apps or services that you're using to determine if what you're holding in the store or what you're ordering online is safe for your low FODMAP diet. Now, if you were to ask a Monash University who developed the low FODMAP program, can I use a product scanner? They're going to give you a hard no. And they're not being jerks, I promise. There are actually a couple of issues when it comes to these product scanners. So first of all, we have the issue of where are they setting their cutoff values. So we talked about in another video that the information that Monash has sort of gathered through their research, the things that they're using in their lab to say this is high FODMAP or this is low FODMAP or proprietary, which means that they're not sharing it with the general public. And so if that information hasn't been published yet, what are these apps using to determine if products that you're holding are low FODMAP? Because they can go through ingredient by ingredient and say, well, this is a low FODMAP serving and this is a low FODMAP serving. But when you put them all together, how are they determining, is this product still safe for you to eat in a standard serving size? And so that's one problem, is that we don't know what the cutoff is that they're using to determine if a product as a whole is high or low FODMAP. Another issue is because they don't know where the range is their range set too high or too low? Where are they putting that threshold for saying, we're going to come out and say that this is fine, or we're going to come out and say that this is not fine? Because if they're setting it too high, they might be letting sneaky FODMAPs into your diet. So they're giving you too much room to add high FODMAP foods to your diet, or serving sizes of low FODMAP foods that are too large. Because we talked about before that the FODMAP diet proper is not based on good or bad foods, it's based on serving sizes. So when we're putting all of these ingredients together, if the threshold that they've set is too high, it might not work for you. And then you're using all these products that you think are low FODMAP and you're packing your plate with things that you think are safe for you. And you're getting all these symptoms and you're thinking like, hey, this low FODMAP program is not working for me. This is not right for my body and I'm going to move on. And you might be missing out on a tool that might really be helpful for you because you're not using the correct information. Now, on the other side of this, we have products that might have, the threshold set too low. And that means that they might be cutting out foods that have any red serving. And so, I got approached by a company once, and part of their marketing was, if anything includes pea protein, then we're not letting people use it, so that everything that our app recommends is like 100% low FODMAP. And well, that sounds good in theory, well then for sure, everything that we're eating is low FODMAP, and that's great because, there is no cutoff for these foods. What that means is that when you're scanning these products, you might be missing out on a ton of things that are perfectly fine for you. They're available for you in a bunch of different servings, and that can make your diet really complicated. It's hard enough. There's a lot of things to remember. There's a lot of things to learn. And so having access to products that are safe for you is really important. And so having things that are either letting sneaky FODMAPs into your diet or that are restricting your food intake beyond what's even necessary, neither of those things are going to be helpful to you. So another issue that we have is, where are these scanners getting their information from? Where are they pulling these ingredients from? So say that they are getting their math absolutely correctly. They are bang on, they've been chatting with Monash, they know exactly where to set out their cutoff limits. So where are they pulling the ingredients from now? So if they're getting them from a database online, if they're getting them directly from the manufacturers, are they getting the updated information as soon as it's, being released to the public? So a product has changed its ingredient list, which happens all the time. Regulations change, the cost of ingredients changes, technology changes, and things work that didn't work before. So where are these companies getting their updated information, and what is the lag time between when a product is hitting the shelves and it has different ingredients and when these apps are being updated? Because you don't want to, have been using a product and scanner still says that it's fine and you're eating it and suddenly it's not fine and you're like, oh, my body's gone wonky and what's happening here? And you're digging and digging and digging, and this app is saying that this food is safe for you, and if you would just flip the box over, you would see the ingredients on this have changed and it's not safe for me, or it's not right for my body anymore, and you would be able to sort of do a little bit of super sleuthing and discover that for yourself. So the moral of the story here is that while Monash says that these scanning apps are a hard no, they're not going to serve you, they do serve a place in the low FODMAP diet. While you're just getting started, you're getting your bearings, it would be okay if you used a scanning app to help you learn more about FODMAPs, like not leaning on it, not relying on it, but using it as a tool to help you sort of narrow down your search. What is this app recommending to me as low FODMAP products? And then going and sort of building that label reading muscle, building that FODMAP spidey sense to really figure out on your own if these products truly are low FODMAP, if they really are working for you, sort of being able to read these labels and really, choose for yourself, I will or I will not put this in my body. And that is going to help you when you are on the fly, you're on the road, you're at somebody's house, and you can look at something and you can say, my spidey sense is tingling. I'm going to ask somebody about this, or I'm just going to leave that on the table because like I've read a bunch of these boxes and I know that they usually don't work for me, or I suspect that there might be an ingredient here that isn't right for me. So really developing that muscle, that spidey sense is really going to serve you when you're out of your own home, you're sort of moving through the world, you're into your personalized phase and you're trying things that aren't necessarily listed in an app. It's also great for local products, which are not going to end up in a scanning app. And so really by building that muscle on your own, learning how to navigate these foods on your own, you're gonna have so much more variety, you're gonna have so much more opportunity to integrate products into your low FODMAP diet, even in the elimination phase, that are gonna make your life so much easier. So take home message for today: scanning apps are just fine as a tool to really introduce yourself to the low FODMAP diet. They're perfectly fine if you want to look in them, if you want to sort of play around with them, but it truly is important to build your FODMAP muscles on your own so that when you're out and about, you want to try new things, you're building your personalized diet, you have tons of tools at your disposal to really help you navigate the low FODMAP diet and make sure that you're incorporating as many foods and as much variety as possible. Now, I know that the low FODMAP diet can be super complicated. I know that hearing that scanning apps don't work for you might have put a bit of a kink in your plan. Don't panic. I have a low FODMAP mini course that is going to walk you through so many of the first steps of the low FODMAP diet. It's totally free. You can just sign up. I'll drop the link below in the description box. It's 5 days. It busts common myths. Are we dairy free? Are we gluten free? It's gonna explain all of the steps of the low FODMAP diet to you as clearly as possible. It's got a ton of FAQ questions answered, basically everything that you need to launch your low FODMAP diet with confidence. And it's totally free. Just click the link below and I will send it directly to your inbox. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You're gonna get tons of information about IBS, FODMAPs, and how to make your body feel like home. I'll see you in my next video.